Hello, welcome to another episode of Know Your Fur, where we take a few minutes out of our day to get to know a random furry from the internet. Though the faces and worlds will change, one thing that'll always stay the same is making friends and getting to know people. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Fur. We have a new guest with us today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Lilith, which is, of course, not my real name, partially. I'm 25 at the moment. I am in IT. What a surprise. Furry's in IT. Hobbies, I guess, not really a certain specific topic. I like a bunch of things, messing with avies, messing with I don't know, my boyfriend has been into radio, so I've been watching a bunch of stuff on radio communications lately. Anything that my hyperfixation and special interests will allow me to look at the moment.
Radio, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple people that love
been
radios and radio communication. I've tried looking into it. It's interesting, but I can't wrap my head around it. So, what exactly is your fursona species?
So I'm a Maine Coon cat, which is a house cat, basically, but a really big and a really fluffy one. But like with different colors than what you would expect, I guess.
Well, I don't know very many furries that have like just the colors of the species of animal that they chose. Like they're all various colors, and I love it. But that leads me into my next question. Okay, so how did you find this particular species, and what made you just be like, no, this is me now?
This is me. Yeah. So that actually kind of came from. Well, before that, let me preface this with telling you that, well, I've been in the furry community before. I took like a year-long break in between, so my sona has changed. I don't actually remember what it was before, but after I got back into the fandom, I had to find myself again, because obviously I had changed quite a bit since then, and cats have always been around me for my entire life. I grew up with a cat. My parents always have had cats, and I just kind of I could always communicate with them well. I don't know if that's weird to say, but like I adopted some characteristics from a lot of cats in my life, and yeah, I don't know, that just kind of led me to go, yeah, I'm definitely a cat.
The only difference is that she enjoys tummy rubs. She will not attack.
You don't know that.
I'd like to find out. Well, I mean, cats are just adorable and fluffy and nice to pet. But
yeah.
You said that you changed quite a bit, and that you were in the fandom before, took a year-long break, and then come back to the fandom. What made you join the fandom the first time? Like, what were the things that you saw that influenced you to become a furry? Or how did you find the fandom, you know?
So the first time, and by the way, with year-long break, I don't mean just 1 year, I mean like 6 years about.
Oh, holy cow.
After which I joined the second time. So the first time, I think it was for the most part because I had just found out what trans is. Um, so I was basically no, I was about 15 around that time, 15, 16. Um, I had a classmate that was trans, and um, that was my first contact with the whole topic of queer and trans. And I, around 15, 16 is when you would usually discover who you are as a person. So that was really me discovering myself. And there was a really big community app that was going on around that time. I can't exactly remember the name, but it was about like it still exists. It's just very problematic at this point. But in that, I found a bunch of communities, and furry was one of them. And then I was like, okay, what is the whole furry thing about? Because the art is pretty. I like this art. I like cute things. So I wanna be part of this community, and I see myself in this as well. Like, I see a part of myself in this. So, join community, interacted a little bit, but then I had my whole I had to figure out my identity properly, so I got out again to focus on myself. So I guess really the connectivity of it all, and well, of course, the pretty art, is what got me into it the first time.
Well, there you go. That is very interesting. I never would have imagined that was
The catalyst, I guess.
Yeah, high five. The cat. Oh my god, the catalyst. You said that you were. You said that you were a furry, took like a 5-6 year long break, and then come back to it. How long in total would you say that you were that you were a furry? Are you counting like the full length of time, including the break? Because, or did you stop like identifying yourself as a furry for that period of time?
I did stop identifying myself with fandom for that time, so I would say I wouldn't necessarily call myself a furry during that period. That's an interesting question though, because like, if you stop identifying yourself with a community, does that mean you're if you get back into it, that you weren't during that time? I can't say for certain either.
For me, and this is my personal opinion, when it comes to something like this, now some people view it as a hobby, some people do not. I am one of those people that do not. For me, it is a lifestyle. I view myself as a furry. I identify with it. I vibe with it. It is me. Because this is where I feel safest and most comfortable. And besides, I'm adorable. But
that you are.
Not everyone is like that. So for me, if you identify yourself as a furry, even if you say you're taking a break, I count. So let's say you became a furry at 12, at 15, you take a 4-year break, and then at 19, you come back. You've been a furry since you were 12. And I say that because for me, it's kind of like, I guess, how people and people are going to give me flack for this, but how there's no such thing as an ex-Marine just a marine waiting to be called to duty. If you say you're no longer a furry, you're still going to find furry art, you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to see these things,
Yeah.
and you'll eventually get drugged back into the community eventually. So for me, I don't think that there's such thing as not being a furry after becoming a furry.
Mhm. Okay, that is actually a good point because I did still look at art and I still found it pretty and cute, and so I guess, yeah, I guess you could say that. I just never really
Oh,
thought about it
my
too much.
hand.
Oh,
So
yeah, so I just never really thought about it too much, I guess. But I think I can agree with you, yeah.
now,
It is more of a lifestyle for me too.
what made you come back to the fandom after you took your hiatus?
So, funny enough, I already said that I work in IT, right? I had a classmate that's in IT, so or that's furry, and I just kind of found out like half a year into the year, and I was like, wait, hang on, right, there was this thing. uh I I'm at a point in my life where I can comfortably come back um and enjoy being fluffy again. Because at that point I'd already started hormones. I'd gotten to a point where I can say yes, I know who I am as a person, and I want to come back to this lifestyle that I'd kind of had to push back for a long time. And I, funny enough, I actually had another classmate in a previous school, basically, that was also a furry. And I didn't know at the time. I was still not, at that point where I am now, where I could join back in. I knew he was in IT. I knew he was gay. Um, I had Telegram. At that time, so at some point I was just like, there's this person on my Telegram that has a furry profile picture. I wonder if they're a furry. So I just wrote him, and I was like, "Are you furry?" And he was like, "What do you think?" So
For my
he got
American
me
audience, Lilith is European, so when she says I wrote someone or write someone, it just means that she sent them a message. That's all it means.
Yes, I texted them. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for
so
interrupting.
no worries. Yeah, so I texted him, and we started exchanging, some texts basically back and forth, and I asked, well, I'm rediscovering myself. I'm rediscovering my lifestyle as a furry again, and I don't really know where to start. Do you have any communities that you can, that you can kind of introduce me to? And he introduced me to a big part of my friend group, and it just went from there.
That's awesome. See, you had it a lot easier finding a furry community than I did, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
me, it started off with the app called Kick. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
found other furries because I knew what a furry was, and I identified myself as a furry from a young age when I discovered what they were, and then the age of the internet kind of exploded, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, this is really cool." And then I found Kick, which would be the equivalent of Telegram today, but much, much worse. Um,
Mm.
and you could search for tags for groups, and I searched furry, obviously. I found a few, and I just bounced back and forth until Discord was released, and then I found Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then after about a year or so, I saw people on YouTube talking about Discord servers for furries and stuff like that. So immediately I Googled furry Discord. And then I found a website that had a whole list of them, and I started joining and so on and so forth.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And then Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
because of Twitch and Discord, I've met a lot of lovely people like yourself. And the audience won't see it, but there's a super cute and lovely dragon sitting over here. And if it wasn't for
Mhm.
Twitch and Discord, I wouldn't have met her either. But I digress. Your avatar, is it indicative
Mhm.
of your Sona?
Well, for the most part, yes. This is the one that I textured it myself. Meaning I drew the how do I describe texturing? I drew onto a 3D object.
Well, I mean,
I guess.
you can do texturing either 3D or 2D on a 2D plane.
Yes.
So the way that I would describe retexturing for those who don't know what retexturing is you take an object like, let's say, this couch, and you basically paint a new picture or new look for it. And you give it different details to make it look different, to give it a new texture instead of just being a white blob.
Yeah, so basically, I when I first joined VR chat, I had not found, I the first thing I did was I looked for cats. So I had a few avatars that I liked a lot, and eventually I came across the base model um, for this avatar, and I bought it and I retextured it to fit my colors, my color scheme, and my markings and all that. And I still occasionally work on it. I actually recently redid some stuff here and there, but for the most part, I do identify with it, although there are some things here and there that I don't really like. That would be a little more expensive to get fixed. It's not completely custom made, so it's of course not gonna be 100% me, but yeah, for the most part, it is me.
Okay, do you have any art of your Sona by chance?
Yes, I do. I have a few.
Would you mind sending those to me
I
so I can show off the cuteness to the audience?
Sure, I can do that.
Lovely. I will have those posted probably here, and in the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, well, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit and ask a question that's off the books.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you were a furry, took a break to, you know, reevaluate yourself, and then you come back and you had a different
Mm-hmm.
Sona. Do you mind if I ask what your Sona was before the break?
I actually don't remember that. So as much as I would like to tell you, because I would like to know myself, I really don't know, to be fair.
She was probably a dog.
What? No, okay, no, that is the last thing I would be. If anything, it would probably be a dragon. a dragon sona. That is the only thing besides cats that I could think of. Dragon, or maybe phoenix. I don't know.
I would love to see you as a dragon. Absolutely, 110%.
I actually, so this is actually something I haven't really talked with about with anyone else, but there's like, so just quick explanation. I would say there's like two different types of sonas, right? There's just sonas, and there is true sonas, and cat is my true sona. That is the sona that I identify with the most. But there is one or two sonas that I'm kind of want to make, that would just be like, oh, I like the design of like these mixtures of species, for example. Kind of trying around and seeing what, you know, what you can make, what species hybrids you can have that look pretty in your eyes. So I've actually been working on a few, two others really, that I wouldn't probably ever use as anything more than just extensions of mood, for example, like expressing my mood, like, oh, I'm in the mood for like a witchcrafty kind of deal going on at the moment, so I have that sona that I really associate with that part of my life. But in the end, this sona is the cat is just me as a whole.
That was very well put. Thank you for that. Do you have a fursuit of any kind? And if not, would you ever want one?
So, I've actually looked into fursuit makers before. I don't have one at the moment. Um, the most that I do have is like a tail and some cat ears. Eventually, I might look into getting one, but they're really expensive. Um, I would say an avatar is pretty similar to the fursuit, although of course that's like the difference between virtual and physical life, I guess. But eventually, yeah, eventually I do want to get a fursuit. I already have a maker in mind, but you know, since they cost a lot of money, not anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, well, fursuits, I would love to have a fursuit, but I feel like the maintenance and upkeep of it for myself would be a little too much, especially because of how you have to wash them.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I would definitely see that stopping someone. Yeah.
I would absolutely love to try a fursuit on one day. You know, are you a content creator of any kind? And if not,
not really.
have you ever thought about it, or would you like to be a content creator?
Absolutely not. So here's the thing. I have a lot of friends that are content creators, so I kind of know what a few things that go on behind the scenes. And honestly, I can't be bothered. with all the drama and all the working to make content only to maybe not even get that big. Well, I mean, in the end, it's about what you want to make, right? It's a hobby. It can be turned into a profession, of course, but I don't particularly enjoy. I don't think I would particularly enjoy having to work my IT job and also uh, make content for other people.
I understand that. I'm a content creator because I want to do my best to entertain. I'm not
Hmm.
overly concerned with if I'm able to make money off of it or not. Um, Now I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pipe the Umbreon. The reason why I'm so gung ho on making affiliate isn't because I can make money, it's because I can have channel points. That is the whole reason why I want to make affiliate. I'm not overly concerned with being able to make money off of it. I like to entertain people, and if people can find me entertaining, that just makes me feel good.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not a very public person. I like to keep to myself and to my friends, and that's really all I do need out of life. I mean, I do have some spaces, like I have a blue sky, for example, but that's not really, it's not really like I create stuff for other people to see. I create stuff to look at funny memes on the internet and share my favorite uh, cat pictures, or to share my opinions and interact with my friends. That's like my main focus.
That is really well put. I like the way that you describe that. Thank you very much. Do you have anyone that you know that is not associated with the furry fandom at all? Friends or family that know you're a furry?
So yeah, my sister knows I'm a furry, and I have told two friends, I think, that well, one of them is my childhood friend and the other is my best friend, that I am a furry. um Most of them don't really know what it was until I kind of explain it to them. um there were some uh slightly bad misconceptions about it before, but I think I cleared it up a little more for them. Hopefully, I mean, I can't particularly look into their heads and be like, yeah, this I definitely explained it. It's now what it's supposed to be in their heads, but I tried.
Thank you for that. Now we're nearing the end of our segment here. We've got one final question. Do you have any advice for people who are just coming into the fandom or thinking about joining the fandom?
Mm-hmm. Advice. Don't be discouraged if you don't have a Sona right away. There's a lot of people that don't have a Sona even years after joining the fandom. It's not like you need one in particular to take part in all of the fun and the joy that you can have in the fandom. And don't let people gatekeep you over not having one. It's fine. It's a process, and it's also fine even if you never have one.
That is some of the best advice I think anyone could give, because a lot of new furries, they feel like they have to have a persona to even get into the fandom, but that's not true. A majority of the time is people getting to interact with other people and they see these other species and they're like, "Oh, that's really adorable." And then they can be like, "Okay, that is my Sona now." Or if they're people that are getting into VR chat or have been in VR chat, but now they're finding furry avatars, good luck. That's all I can say.
Yes.
There's just as many avatars as there are species. It is a time. But thank you, Lilith, for joining me. It was lovely to talk with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that you all enjoyed as well. Until next week, this is Pip signing off. Talk to you later. Bye.